Eye on South Asia is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.
Welcome back to Eye on South Asia. Sanjeev, we're going to talk about a group now that is seeking to make genetic tests for different birth disorders to be a lot more affordable and easier for the community.
Lately, there have been so many disorders, birth disorders. Every time you hear a story about this person and that disorder, and lately there have been so many stories. But correct me if I'm wrong. The story says that scientists have found solution to end this preventable genetic disorders.
It's not quite a solution, but rather a good way to test for it. So this company is based in Redwood City, and they're called Council. And what they're doing is they're using internet and Silicon Valley technology to do different tests, and one such thing is a pre-pregnancy test for both men and women, and it's going to dramatically reduce the cost of genetic testing. And this sort of genetic testing is the kind of genetic mutations that are carried on by either parent when you don't have any family history. So it just kind of pops up.
And also, in many cases, parents don't even know that they're carrying that, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And a lot of times, traditional testing methods have been time-consuming, very expensive, and they also only test for one disease at a time. So Council, what they're trying to do is basically reduce that cost, and what they do is they send you a test kit, and this test kit is available at the doctor's office for more than 200 clinics nationwide, and it contains actually this plastic tube to collect your saliva, and you have an envelope and you actually mail it to the center. And within a couple of weeks, you get your test results posted on a secure website.
Nice.
So this really cuts out a lot of
hassle and a lot of going to different doctors and different tests and finding out what's there, what's not there, and this is okay, that's not okay, stuff like that.
And just to put this in perspective in terms of costs, so currently we have around $500 to $1,500 per test. And this test that we're talking about only costs about $350 or so. That really makes it a lot more affordable to low-income families and that sort of thing.
For everybody, right? And the most important thing about this story is that there are some Indians who are part of this important stuff, right?
Yes.
We have Balaji K. Srinivasan, and then we have Balaji S. Srinivasan, and they are not related. And then we have Ramji Srinivasan, also nobody's related. And then we have other two gentlemen, Evans and a Kakkar. That's what makes a whole team.
Actually, I think Ramji and Balaji are brothers.
Ramji and Balaji S. Srinivasan, okay.
Right.
But Balaji K. Srinivasan is not related.
Okay. And what actually motivated them to start this company, right, was they witnessed some relatives that had passed away due to some genetic related, like inherited diseases. So they really wanted to find out how to detect these mutations and that sort of thing and manage them early, because these were preventable, and that's such a...
That's where it matters. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So they're doing some really good work, and hopefully we can see these tests, if they're working really well, to spread across clinics and more people can be tested.
True.
All right.
Good concept.
Let's move on to Chivukula for Congress. Am I saying that name right?
That's right. Upendra Chaudhury for Congress. He's from New Jersey, and he's been in politics since last 10 years or so. And of course, an electrical engineer by profession, he has a track record as a problem solver who has worked successfully on a bipartisan basis to incentivize business, reduce costs by promoting municipal shared services. He has done many things, right? And he holds several leadership positions in the assembly. So this assemblyman, Upendra Chaudhury from Franklin Township in New Jersey, I think first elected Indian official from state of New Jersey.
Right.
And now he is running for Congress, because eventually, from assemblyman you move to Congress and then to Senate and so on and so forth. So now he'll be competing against someone who's very solid, two-term incumbent U.S. Rep. Leonard Lenz, who's a Republican in a District 7. So I think Indian American community is backing Upendra Chaudhury for Congress seat, and let's see what happens in November.
Right, and he's hoping to be the first Indian American from the north and northeast.
From the northeast, yeah, because we have several Indian Americans also, excuse me, that I mentioned earlier, that they are running for Congress and the different district positions in this year's election. They are from Chicago and then West Coast and whatnot.
So his thing is clean energy and that sort of thing, and hopefully he can use his engineering background if elected and that sort of thing.
Energy, technology, and other business sector that he has been heading those committees in New Jersey for some time, and he's been doing a fine job.
Right. All right. So we wish him luck with that venture, and we are going to move to a cake designer party.
It's a sweet time now.
Yes. There was an anniversary celebration of cake designer Parul Patel, and there was basically just this gala at Janoon Restaurant here in New York City. And it was this wonderful event. I was also there. About 200 guests there were, and they had several stands of Parul's cakes, and I just have to say, just looking at her cakes from her website, you can actually visit it at thecakedesigner.com.
Right.
She has a really unique approach to these cakes. She does kind of a designer cake approach. So one of the things that I really found interesting was the henna cake. So it's actually a wedding cake, and she had this on display at the event. And it's literally the henna, that art and engraving in icing on the cake.
Nice.
And it's beautiful.
Right.
So.
And she also specializes in eggless
cakes, right, which is a great addition for Indians, obviously. So this event had attendees such as celebrity chef Vikas Khanna. He was there.
Okay.
Right. He's been in the news a lot lately.
Almost every week.
Yep. And Jaswant Lalwani, a businessman, Reema Razul, a model and anchor, and other celebrities. So it was a wonderful event. And
you were there.
I was there.
And they just missed your name in the article.
I know, yeah. They forgot to add it.
You must have been too busy, I think, trying those cakes out.
Oh, right, exactly. But they had great cupcakes as well.
I've heard of actually Parul Patel, the cake designer, a lot. I think she started her business from scratch, and she loves to make cakes, and she's very passionate, and she's very creative about it. So, it's good to know that finally, her work was recognized and appreciated.
Right. So congratulations to her for that event. And we are going to talk about a movie now.
It's time to go to movies.
Some entertainment stories. Right. So we have this movie called The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. And this is a comedy starring Judi Dench and Dev Patel from Slumdog Millionaire. And they basically have released this movie in very limited theaters, something like...
It's a low-budget movie.
Yeah, low-budget.
Very low-budget movie. And they released, I think, somewhere like in 178 theaters, less than 200 theaters.
Yeah.
And
they're doing exceptionally well. They're in the top 10 for the U.S. box office.
Well, their collection, they're comparing to a movie which would be released in some 1,500 theaters, And this movie released in less than 200 theaters, some 178, 180 theaters or like that. And so far it has grossed 3.7 million, which
Right.
actually gets him a spot in top 10 movies in
That's
the
great.
US. Yep.
Yeah. And
I really
they're
wanna check
thinking
this
of
movie out.
right. They're
Yeah.
thinking of expanding their release in additional cities. And what this movie is about is a group of British retirees. They want to outsource their retirement to a less expensive place in
Right. And it's seemingly
India.
exotic.
Right.
It has to be exotic place.
Yeah. So they
What an idea.
so they go to this newly restored Marigold hotel, and they expect this sort of, I guess, colonial luxury, and they find that it's not quite what they expected. So they learn a lot of life lessons.
Nightmare begins right there.
Right. So it sounds kind of interesting.
Right.
Definitely will want to check it out if it,
And by the way, this movie, The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, which was named a critic's pick by the New York Times.
Yes.
That's
So it's
important.
definitely getting a lot of
Absolutely.
attention at this
Yep.
point,
Sure.
and hopefully we can catch it in theaters.
Yep.
All right. Have you heard of Amir Khan's new show, Satyamev Jayate?
Satyamev Jayate, American.
They have a wonderful song too.
Yeah, Satyamev Jayate. I think so far 2 episodes have been
Yes.
aired on Star Plus, and I believe on Doordarshan. Satyamev Jayate means truth only prevails.
Right.
Satyamev Jayate, which is in Hindi, it means in English, truth only prevails. And what Amir Khan does in this show successfully, that he brings out all these true stories which we may have not heard them, or even if we have heard them, we don't know too much about them. There's so much abuse going on, different kind of abuse, and then he picks out on those stories, and that's what he puts in his show. His
Right.
first show was a hit, and then the second one also on a child abuse, which I think
Right. His very first episode was on female feticide.
Right.
And it was just in the very first episode a very hot button issue in India. And it actually garnered a lot of attention in terms of even lawmakers and stuff like that. So, and as you mentioned, the second episode was
Second
on
on
childhood abuse.
Amir Khan, who's known as Mr. Perfectionist, his shows Satyamev Jayate, and so far 2 episodes have been aired.
I think it's a great concept. It really, I think, shows not only the activist in him, but also the progression of his movies as of late. They're all about kind of fighting for the people. So it's a great concept.
Amir Khan, whatever project that he takes it upon, he makes sure that
yeah.
he'll be able to do full justice to it. Then only he takes it upon. So
Exactly. And I'm actually waiting for an English subtitled version of it. So
they may have it online. No, they don't.
they don't have it online yet. Actually, they have it dubbed into several languages like Tamil, Telugu, I think Malayalam.
But not in English.
Not in English yet.
All right. I'll make sure to call Amir Khan this weekend and let him
Yes,
know that.
yeah. Be sure to
Sure.
help us out a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So that's all the time we have for this week's show. Keep watching us week after week on Crossings TV, Eye on South Asia. You can also find us on YouTube and Facebook. Facebook URL is facebook.com/Eye on South Asia. So until next week, I'm Bob Navanan signing off and wishing you a great weekend.
And I'm Sanjeev Pandya. Thank you so much, and you take care.
Eye on South Asia is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.